Okay, so I'm going to go over how DFS is implemented and works. So if I were to access the file shares on my servers, I would have to type in whack whack, the name of the server, and the share, right? So there's the department share on server 1. Okay, so I would type in server 2. There's my research and development share. And let's put a file in there, a folder, just for fun. Okay. And let's see another one I have on server core. That one is not there anymore. There it is, secrets. Okay, so if I were a user, I would have to have a drive mapped to these 3 locations, to server core, secrets, server 2, research and development, server 1, department. So these are all located on different servers, right? 3 different servers. I've spread out the different files or shares or resources that people would want to use. So they'd have to have 3 different drive mappings. T, like U, V, whatever, right? So whatever drive letters you want. So my goal is to not have to put in a server name. I can just put in my domain name and then my DFS share or whatever I want to call it, right? So let's take a look and create a DFS volume that will help the users just have one drive mapping to access all the shares in the organization. It doesn't matter where those shares physically exist as far as what hard drive on what server they exist on. You guys ready to give that a try?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
Let's do this.
Let's add roles and features to server 1. Let's make server 1. And we're going to add DFS, so it's under, no.
DFS is domain file system, correct?
Yeah. How come I don't see it? For some reason I'm blind.
It should be under files or something like that, you would think. Is it a feature and not a role, Aaron?
Ooh.
It's under files, and there should be another arrow under files. So click that, and then there's another little arrow.
There it is.
There it is.
I was like, I saw that the other day. All right, DFS namespaces, so it's going to add the tools, so add those. And DFS replication we're not going to do right now, but what DFS replication is it allows you to replicate a shared folder from one server to another server. So if you have a remote server that has a slow WAN connection, you could have DFS replicate files back and forth so users on that remote connection can access a local copy of it, and then it will just replicate in the background. So we're not going to play with that right now. We're just going to create the namespace. All right. Thank you, Anthony, for having me dig a little deeper there. And we'll restart if necessary. I don't think we are going to, but let's try it out. We shouldn't have to restart. So once it gets done installing those features, we should be able to see the DFS server management. So now I'm going to go to Tools. I should see DFS Management. And here is the DFS Management window, allowing us to start the namespaces. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a namespace. So you can use that wizard, or you can right-click, New Namespace. Okay. The namespace server we'll call, for the sake of our sanity, DFS. Oh, no, sorry. We need to choose the server. So it's going to be on server 1. Let's just check names just to make sure. Good, okay. Okay, so enter the name of the namespace. So this will be the domain name, so mydomain.org / and then whatever we want to call it. So we'll just call it, for the sake of everyone, we'll call it shares. So it's going to be accessible by the users by going to / mydomain.org / shares. We can call it data or public or whatever they have there for examples, but we're going to use shares. All right. So we have two options here. The difference between these two options is the domain-based namespace has the users being able to access it like this. Okay. A standalone namespace is only used if you don't have Active Directory running. You would do it in a standalone namespace. And that then would use the name of the server. Okay, so for this instance, it's running on server 1, so it'd be server 1 / shares. But so this would be the one place they go to in order to access the shares on server 2 or server core. So they're always, so even in a standalone, it's still useful, even if you don't have Active Directory or domain running, because you can use this. Server 1 is always the location where users go to access all the shares, no matter what server they're on. Okay, DFS was initiated and it started with 2008. So enable Windows 2008 mode, meaning allow it to be backwards compatible, essentially. All right, there's my summary. Hit create. And boom, it was done. All right, so mydomain.org / shares. So now if we go inside and take a look at it, this is where we can add namespaces and or other namespace servers. Right now, there's only server 1 is the only server that's enabled. And notice here, it actually references the physical aspect of Active Directory, identifying the site that those servers are located in case we do enable the replication. All right, so under namespace, we can add a new folder. Okay, and this new folder can, if it's empty, meaning it's not pointing to a target, the target server would be the server that physically has the folder. So we could say the folder is going to be departments, okay? And we're not going to add any targets to it. Hit OK. And what that does is it just creates a folder. It's an empty folder. Because if you noticed all of my shares that I had department share, I had research and development, and I had secrets. So these two shares are still departments in my organization, but they are located on two separate servers for whatever security reasons. But I want it all to be accessible within my DFS structure. So I'm going to create a folder called departments, and then I can put all three of these inside of there. So it looks like one organized layout. So I'm going to add a new folder. This one I'm going to call business departments, and I'm going to add a target. I'm going to browse, to DEPT, and this is on server 1, so it already shows those on DEPT. If I want, I can just go to each individual one. So if I cancel, and call this HR, I can now add department HR. Hit OK. So now HR is done. So now I can add another one called marketing. And I can browse department marketing. Warehouse. Okay, we'll just do those for now. And then let's add the other ones from the other locations. Oh, I should probably give this a name. I'm going to call this R&D. And we're going to go to server 2. R&D. And we'll add one more, which is on server core, and that's called secrets. Oh, no, just hit cancel. Show share, there it is. Secrets on server core. Hit OK. All right, so now if I browse to this, I should see departments. Inside there, I should have HR, marketing, R&D, secrets, and warehouse. And they should all be located on different servers. So I'm going to switch over to my Windows workstation. And we're going to undock. And log in as one of my users here. Okay, so department share is still mapped to letter P, but if this user, if we, instead of mapping P drive to that, we could just use mydomain.org/shares. Come on, computer. It's been sitting here. I'm going to just restart it, just in case. Relog in. Wow, it's taking a long time. Okay, something happening there. Let's see what happens on my other server here. See if I can't just access it this way. We're waiting. Oh, there, finally decided. Oops, is it share? Shares, okay. There it is. So there's so that's where I'd map the drive to, the shares, and then I'd have departments, and I could have other folders in here. I go to the departments folder, and there's my HR, marketing. Okay, so secrets, more secrets. warehouse, R&D. If I want to do an R&D, let's see if I can create a folder here or a text document. Server 2 was here. Let's go to secrets. Server 2 was here too. Okay, let's go back to my workstation now. See it from a user perspective. All right. Come on, Lucy. Lucy's an audit. All right, so we have the P, and she's in so a new text document. We'll call this Lucy doc. All right, so that was in marketing. So we're going to go to mydomain.org/shares, departments, marketing. There's our Lucy document, even though it's created on a different server. Let's go to secrets. Oh, server 2. And let's create another document. Lucy was here. There you go. So that's DFS. It just puts them all, no matter where the physical location is of your shares. DFS lets you create one namespace so you can map a drive directly to that name instead of, so you can map it directly to departments. So a T can be mapped to departments, and then you can just keep adding shares from other servers in here until you're blue in the face. Are there any questions?